a belief that once humanity entered the modern age, it would do away with old ideas, like ghosts or appeasing the gods. But that doesn't seem to have happened. The idea of ghosts and hauntings are still as prevalent as ever, and so are a bunch of other old ideas. Among the list of bad ideas still popular, there are some not-so-good ones. But there are also some great ones, like the age-old appeal of grabbing a weapon, forming a party, and hunting down some monsters. Just like the paragons of old, the ideas held appeal in the collective subconscious, so much so it's appeared in countless amount of stories. In a list of media centered around monster hunting, there's a particularly kick-ass tale about a young demon hunter and his quest to take down a colossal monstrosity. And that's the story I want to talk about today. So for this special Halloween video, steel your nerves, and let's dive right into the demon-slaying romp of Devil May Cry 5. Contains spoilers for the entire story of Devil May Cry 5. So if you don't want to know what happens, be aware of that. So it's the modern age, and in the bustling city of Redgrave, life is carrying on as usual. Unfortunately, the day-in, day-out routine doesn't last long, because a giant tree from hell suddenly appears in the middle of the city. Demon hunters Mira and Dante, and their accomplices V, Trish, and Lady, infiltrate the tree, which is called the Qlipoth, and confront Urizen, the demon lord that's taken up residence inside it. Hero's no match for Urizen, though, and he gets his ass beat and is forced to retreat with V. Not exactly thrilled to have been absolutely creamed by Urizen, Nero teams up with his gunsmith friend Nico and starts eradicating the monsters crawling out of the Qlipoth. It turns out being defeated by a demon lord isn't the only unfortunate thing that's happened to Nero, because we soon learn he got his arm ripped off by a mysterious stranger 2 months back. It wasn't just any old arm either. It was the Devil Bringer, an arm imbued with supernatural power! Fighting his way through a horde of monsters ravaging Redgrave, Nero encounters a powerful demon, and defeating it discovers inside an unconscious lady. Picking her up, he quickly takes her back to his and Nico's van. Meanwhile, V, a mysterious friend, is also ripping and tearing his way through the city. Hearing that a powerful weapon called the Sword of Sparta may be nearby, V begins to search for it, thinking that if Nero wielded it, they might overcome Urizen. Apparently Nero has amnesia, because he forgets he's now strong enough to face Urizen and goes and faces him again. He ends up getting smacked around just like before. But before Urizen can deal a death blow, a very striking and supersonic mega demon comes to his rescue. The screen fades to black, and we're treated to the first of many confusing time jumps.
You could have at least knocked, Morrison.
Yeah, I could have. I got some good news and some bad news. Pick your poison. Which you want to hear first?
Just speak.
In a flashback, we visit the Devil May Cry Demon Hunting Agency, where several weeks earlier, the mysterious V paid a visit to commission Dante's services. He's not very detailed about the job. He just tells Dante there's a powerful demon will resurrect soon, and his request is for Dante to stop them. The story fast-forwards to around the time Nero first rescued Lady, at which point V has finally found the Sword of Sparta. That's not the only thing he's found, though. Inexplicably, he also finds Dante, who's napping on a pile of rubble. V wakes him up, then we travel back in time again and see how, after Nero and Dante were separated in Urizen's throne room, Urizen KO'd Dante, then yeeted him straight out of the Qlipoth. Then he took Trish and Lady captive and used them to animate his demonic servants. Back in the moment after V found Dante, Dante takes the Sword of Sparta and sets out for his old childhood home. After defeating a powerful demon in his path, he finds Trish and leaves her in the care of V before continuing on. Left alone together, V confides in Trish and tells her the truth about who he is. That he's Virgil, Dante's older brother, or rather, he's the human part of Virgil. In his quest for power, Virgil used the Yamato to separate his human and demon self, and in inhabiting his demonic self, abandoned V. Stabbing yourself to get more powerful might have started to become a trend, because we soon see Dante doing it too. In his old childhood home, he stabs himself in the stomach with Rebellion, his magical sword, and infusing it with the Sword of Sparta, transforms into a mega demon. And thus he faces Urizen again, And we return to the present, where he comes to Nero's rescue before Urizen can deal a death blow. Dante smacks Urizen around a little bit, but he doesn't exactly save the day, because Urizen manages to retreat to the upper levels of the Glyphoth, and at the same time the Glyphoth completes its emergence into the human world. Elsewhere inside the Glyphoth, everyone meets for a little heart-to-heart. V finally clues Nero in and reveals to him that Urizen is actually Dante's older brother, Virgil, who became a super demon after splitting his human and demon self with the Yamato. And with that revelation, Dante, Nero, and V set out to stop Urizen once and for all. Higher up in the Glyphoth, they battle Urizen again. Dante serves him a smackdown, and V deals the final blow. Urizen doesn't die, though. Instead, V and Urizen both fuse together to become the human demon Virgil once again. Virgil invites Dante to battle him again soon, then opens a portal and departs, leaving Dante to serve Nero another groundbreaking revelation. Virgil is actually his father. He's not sure how exactly, but he's certain Virgil is his father because of how the Yamato reacted when Nero wielded it.
Not gonna let you have all the fun, Dante.
You don't get it.
Let me guess. I'm dead weight? Well, you can
That's
shove
not
it
it,
up.
Nero.
What is it then?
He's your father!
What?
I had the feeling the first time I saw you, but I just wasn't sure. And then I saw how the Yamato reacted. And I was certain. He's your father.
We're not exactly sure what Virgil's motives are now that he's human and demon again, but Dante hates his guts either way, so he goes to battle him at the summit of the Glyphoth. Nero follows in with everything that's happened so far, and the revelation that Virgil's his dad and Dante's his uncle. He resolves to stop them from destroying themselves. And finding his inner power, he awakens his full Devil Trigger form and regrows his arm. In his Devil Trigger form, Nero stops Dante and Virgil from fighting, and puts a stop to their sibling rivalry. Father and son clash, then, reaching a moot point and realizing stopping the spread of the Glyphoth is the most important thing, Dante and Virgil depart to sever the Glyphoth's roots and seal the portal to the underworld. Nero would just be a third wheel, so they leave him behind. With nothing else to do, Nero teams up with Nico, hits the road, and starts annihilating the demons still ravaging Redgrave. And that's the basic plot of Devil May Cry 5. It's not the most elaborate story, but the way it's executed is so stylish and kick-ass, it doesn't really matter. There's also something invariably appealing about its world. It's a place where the fantastic meets the mundane. You have all these normies just going about their business, when a giant tree suddenly appears, along with every demon from the Old Testament, and starts causing mayhem. In this crazy world, Nero and Dante have the Devil May Cry Demon Hunting Agency, because apparently demon invasions are a pretty common thing. The writing uses this fantastical context to bring to life some pretty interesting ideas. An individual's shadow side can be integrated in a process that awakens power by awakening and fusing with their inner demon. The physical manifestation of that power are devil bringers, which are weapons fused into the individual's arm. There are also swords and katanas imbibed with demonic power. Come to think of it, everything is about awakening and integrating demonic power. There isn't really anything like angelic beings or power in this game. Taking center stage in the story is Nero. He's a young and impulsive demon hunter on a journey to find his strength. He's not exactly a social butterfly. He's kind of arrogant and can let his emotions get the better of him, but he's very loyal to the people that matter to him, and he fights to protect them. When he's powerless to help Dante in the battle against Urizen, he goes in search of greater strength, and only ends up finding it through his compulsion to prevent his family from hurting one another. He gets a real chip on his shoulder after Dante calls him dead weight, and it bothers him pretty much the whole story, because he alludes to it a lot, which is kind of sad when you consider he didn't exactly have the best childhood.
So, tell me,
Tell you what,
how does it feel to be rescuing the guy that killed your father?
hey, I'm glad we're getting personal. Well, he abandoned my mother and I and left us for dead. I feel nothing.
Well, he's not exactly going up for Father of the Year award now, is he?
V is another character in the story. He's cast as a mysterious, brooding young man until you learn who he really is. He's not as cool as Nero. Actually, he's a little bit annoying because he has this habit of randomly reading poetry before battles and stuff. On the other hand, we have Nico, who's awesome. She's Nero's friend and comrade. She drives the Devil May Cry van and develops devil triggers for Nero. She's tough and has a devil may cry attitude, but she also has a funny sense of humor. She had a messed up childhood like Nero, but is determined to see the agency's mission through. Dante doesn't get the most screen time, but when we do see him, he's usually adding some brevity to the story with his casual, bantering attitude. He's the proprietor of the Devil May Cry agency, and Nero's uncle, and he definitely has a dog in the fight against Urizen. There's a long-standing sibling rivalry between him and his brother Virgil, stemming from their childhood, but there's also a sort of bond in Dante and Virgil's mutual dislike. There are big differences between them, and one of those differences paints Dante favorably. It's a kind of role reversal. Whereas Virgil's the actual father of the two, Dante's the one who's watched out for Nero. Maybe that's why he always has the disgruntled attitude of an exhausted dad. The writing is great when it comes to the characters, but it's not always as thorough when it comes to other aspects of the game. The plot points of the story jump backwards and forwards in time so often it's hard not to get confused. There are also a lot of questions the story doesn't answer. Like, why does Virgil care about stopping the Cryphos spread when he was fine with it before? And why are Dante and Virgil suddenly cool with teaming up to take down the Cryphos when they hate each other's guts? We may never get the answer to any of these questions, but in the face of the game's sheer awesomeness, that doesn't really matter. Devil May Cry 5 isn't the place to look for deep philosophical ideas, or incredible character arcs. It's a demon-ass-kicking romp with surface themes about family and fighting for the people you love. And that's all it needs to be. And that's my analysis of the story of Devil May Cry 5.
What? No chit-chat or monologue?
If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe for more content.